All right, so let's do a live trade on SPY. I'm doing 395 puts. I'm looking for us to lose this level at 396.80 to come down into this blue box. My risk level is over 397.50. I've scaled in about 20 contracts on this position. I have room to add 10 more if I feel super confident. However, I might just leave it at 20 because we are nearing lunchtime and I'm not a big fan of having size during that time. So as of right now, I just have 20 contracts with a cost basis of 38. So I'm right near break even and my risk level is above 397.50. So risking this amount right here and target would be around 395.50. Okay, currently in the green about $10, so nothing crazy. We do have a ton of volatility though, so I'm moving between positive 10 and negative 30. Like I mentioned, I do have the opportunity to add 10 more contracts. The only time I would do that, I would save the 10 contracts if we moved up into this area again, just in case we're going to try to test 397.50. I'll leave that as like a little tiny cushion, but overall, I think I'm just happy and satisfied with 20 contracts. That's plenty right now. Next, I want to see us lose this yellow goldish line, 396.80, and then I would love a flush down into lunch. So while we're waiting for this to play out, let's talk about some important trader psychology. So one of the things that I like to do is have my P&L off. I do not have my profit and loss section on. I typically just look at my phone to see that anyways. But what I like to do is have the orders ready on my phone, so it's distracting me from looking at the profit and loss section. It can really mess with you mentally and prevent you from sticking through your plan like you had originally pre-planned before you entered this trade, right? So you're supposed to have your entries, your exit, your stop loss, all of that planned before you enter a trade. And if you don't plan that ahead of time, honestly, I found it super beneficial, especially in the beginning, for me to physically write this down. So like my plan before I entered this trade, I would write down my entry, my exit, my stop. I'd make sure all of that was set before I decided to jump in and execute. And this prevents you from making impulsive decisions. So right now on SPY, just trading psychology wise, if I'd have my profit and loss up, at one point I was up like $70 or $80 on this candle down here. So me seeing that go away and now being down $30 can really mess with some people and prevent me from, like I said, following my plan. So typically I do not watch profit and loss, and it's super helpful to turn that off. It creates much less anxiety, at least in my observation on my own trading, because there's been so many times where I would exit with a small amount of profit, even though my original plan was playing out exactly how I had set it up, and I would have like 3-4 times my profit if I just would have been following the chart and not my profit and loss section. Okay, so when I said I was saving 10 contracts, this is where I was saving 10 contracts for. So I would need to see another rejection or lower high print here for me to add in 10 more contracts. I'm going to go ahead and get the buy button ready for my last lot size, which is, like I said, 10 contracts. I need to see a lower high here and sellers present. If we start to break 397.50, I then have my stop and exit order ready on my phone. So plan remains the same, that I will remain short biased as long as we stay underneath 397.50. And I'm getting ready where I potentially want to add more to my position. So I did not mean to do that. Let me do this. There we go. That looks better. I'll add more if we start to lose 396.80. That's going to be a condition for me. Okay, I went ahead and added 10 more prematurely. The reason for doing that is because they're pretty freaking volatile, and I'm just going to make my stop loss tighter since I decided to add premature. I'm saying add premature because my original plan was to scale in 10 if we broke 396.80, but I saw some sellers on the tape, and so I just decided to go ahead and add that in. I'm going to delete these lines, get everything super clean. My stop loss now is going to be right over this candle, so it's no longer 397.50. If we start to break this red line, I'm going to stop out, and I'll most likely take about $150 loss if this level gets hit. But ideally I want us to break 396.80, which is this goldish line right here, and I'm still targeting down here near 395.50. Okay, I'm back in the green on this position. I'm up like $15. I just was up 75. Like I said, it could really mess with your head if you're doing nothing but watching your P&L. But we're breaking underneath this line, which is a good sign. Now we need to come down to test 396.18 and then hopefully 395.50. That was a beautiful red candle. So we're starting to see sellers step in. The only thing I don't like about this is let's just see how fast we can move down. We're getting a little too close to lunch. So if we haven't seen my target hit around 395.50 before lunch starts to creep in, I will definitely exit size or at least move this trade to break even, because right now I'm up about 135, which is about 12%. Okay, so at this point I've already hit 20%. Wow, okay, so on that candle I've already hit 30%. This is a really nicely timed trade. So what my plan is going to be now is, since we are rapidly moving towards my target, which is down here 395.50, I'm going to go ahead and get my stop loss or my exit in place and start dragging it up on the chart so I don't miss out on profits. Okay, so I went ahead and set a stop loss on the chart. I've got 30 lot contract size, and I typically go way down on the price ladder just so I don't accidentally execute the trade. This happened to me yesterday and it was so frustrating. So if you go and you do it any way other than the ladder here on setting a stop, like I go all the way down where I know it's nowhere close to the bid or the ask, and then I set my stop that way and then I'll drag it up. Yesterday I did it by hitting the level 2 down here, so I hit sell and then I adjusted the limit, and it executed 20 of my 30 contracts without it even being near the limit price. That was extremely frustrating. So I just always default to the ladder here to set my stop, and then I'll move it up. Oh my gosh. We're up about 55%. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. This is fun. All right, I need to lock in profit because we're at 77% now. 82%. I'm going to suffocate this play. I want to get stopped out. There we go. All right, so this is super important tip here is, yes, my target was 395.50. Hold on. He got 100% gains on 0 TTE. He got a much better entry and exit than me probably. But I'm just rough estimate here. I think I got about 75%. At one point it was up like 80%, but I'm still in BAC puts, which I had from earlier. But hold on, let me finish this point really quick. So the reason that I decided to sell before my target got hit of 395.50 is because it was so fast. So I was trading 0 DTEs, which means I have to take advantage of momentum. So even though I was like, oh, I want my target of 395.50 to hit, at that point, we were moving way too fast, and so I want to sell into the move, not wait for the move to hit where I wanted it to. Now, if we were just like slow grinding on the way down and I wasn't trading 0 DTEs, I would have definitely waited. But this wick got close enough to this candle. Sure enough, as soon as you see buyers come in, you immediately lose a big chunk of your profit. So I always sell into the move. Okay, so that put me up about $810 on that move. I'm still in BAC puts. So I took Bank of America short or puts earlier in the day, and we've just been chopping around. Let me go chart these out. All right, so I'm in the 28.50 puts, and we've just been chopping around all day. We've barely been moving, but I kind of chose that on purpose. So I've been working on trying to make one of my trades a larger day trade point of view, because a ton of people in my group are working full time and they're not able to scalp all the time, right? Like, I know you get a lunch break, but there's tons of people in there who are too busy with kids and, you know, work and everything going on that it's hard for them to scalp. And so I want to get back into the habit of trying to have one play going that's not that stressful, that somebody can manage easily if they are working a full-time job. And so today that play was a short on BAC. So the plan was, as long as high of day around 29 could hold, which you see we have tested that once, twice, and then I'm going to count this as 3 times and almost 4 times. Bulls were really trying hard to break high of day, but we never broke. So at that point, you just set an alert near new high of day around 29, and you have your target. So our first target was 28.70. This would have netted you about 10%. So if you took that, awesome. Me, I am still in the trade. I never took that. I am being very greedy today. But I have a larger target that I want to hit of 28.44, and I'm trying to practice patience. So I'm in such a scalper's mindset that typically my trades are like that SPY one where I'm like in and out in 10 to 15 minutes. And so I want to work on my patience and really getting plays that could last a daytime. So, you know, playing trend throughout the day or playing a setup and really sticking to my plan. So my plan being, as long as this did not break 29 level, we respected this high of day, then I would stay in a short position to potentially see puts pay back to 28.44. Okay, so at this point, I'm not going to continue live trading BAC because at least I got the SPY trade for you guys. But just to summarize what I was looking for one more time, and as I wanted this high of day near 29 where we saw sellers present to hold. I did not want this to break. Yes, we tested it multiple times, but we never in fact broke. So at this point, if you were playing a larger day trade, as long as you have your levels predetermined before market opens, which is something I do for the group. So I provided them the levels I was looking for, and I'm going to give them details on targets, all that stuff. So first target for me was 28.70, and then the second larger target is 28.44. I post all of this way earlier in the day in the option alerts, but I know some people who are working might not be able to review that as frequently. So you can see it here, target 1, 28.70, and then target 2 is 28.44 for BAC. So I'm going to let this play out. I'm going to set my alerts accordingly. So I'm going to set my alert probably around 28.90. If we start breaking that again, then I'll most likely just exit this position at this point because it's just chopping near new high of day too much. However, now that we have failed again and we're moving into lunch, I think the bears have a really good shot here into end of day. And so I will set my alert near this candle right here. So if we start breaking this level, then I'm going to be looking to take profits here. And then obviously my risk level, I could set a hard stop, yes, but on BAC it's not too volatile, so I'm just going to set an alert instead of a hard stop, and then I can just exit pretty quickly if need be. But I hope this live tutorial for you guys was helpful on my live trades. Since I travel full time, it's super hard for me to catch these. I do most of my trades on my phone, and I typically just take, like I said, max 2 to 3. I mean, honestly, recently I've only been taking about 2 trades, and that's pretty normal for me. One of those being at least a sized A+ trade, and the other one being smaller. So BAC is going to be my smaller, bigger day trade point of view, and then the one that we just took on SPY would be my larger sized trade. And $800 in about 20 minutes is not bad at all. I will take that any day than working the old job I had at the gym, 45 hours a week, and my paycheck was like absolutely nothing. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. Anyways, I'm gonna go have some fun in the desert. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, if you guys want extra support though, make sure to check the description box down below. Underneath this video, it will hold a master link. I have a free day trading seminar if you want to understand how to day trade with a small account. So no, you do not need $25,000 to day trade. You can go check out that free trading seminar to let you know the right account type to get around that. But if you guys want extra support beyond the free stuff, I do have a trading community with a full 8-week program, beginner to advanced, options and stocks, all that good stuff, and my strategies, play-by-play, live trades, Discord community full of awesome people. If you want any of the information on that, you can look in the master link. It'll be underneath the free day trading seminar. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.